Hello. Welcome to my channel, Crown Legacy. Today we will know about the last emperor of Mexico. History remembers great empires, but it also remembers tragic endings. One of the most dramatic stories in Latin American history is that of Emperor Maximilian I of Mexico, a foreign prince who wore the Mexican crown, only to face betrayal, war, and execution. This is the story of Mexico's last emperor. Maximilian was a prince of the House of Habsburg, one of Europe's most powerful dynasties. He never expected to become Emperor of Mexico. But in the 1860s, after years of civil war, Mexican conservatives and France's Emperor Napoleon III wanted a European monarch to stabilize the country. They offered the crown to Maximilian. At first, he hesitated. But lured by promises of loyalty and international recognition, he accepted, believing he could bring peace, progress, and modernization to Mexico. In 1864, Maximilian and his wife, Carlota of Belgium, arrived in Mexico City. He envisioned himself as a reformer. Maximilian supported land reforms, tried to improve education, and even defended the rights of indigenous people. But there was a problem. While conservatives had invited him, his liberal policies angered them. At the same time, Mexican Republicans, led by Benito Juárez, saw him as a foreign invader. Maximilian's throne rested on the support of French troops. But when France faced pressure in Europe and withdrew its army in 1866, his empire began to crumble. Empress Carlota traveled desperately to Europe to beg for help, but she was ignored. Heartbroken, she suffered a mental breakdown and never returned to Mexico. By 1867, Republican forces surrounded Maximilian in the city of Querétaro. He was betrayed by one of his own generals and captured. Despite pleas for mercy from world leaders, Juárez stood firm. He wanted to send a message: Mexico would no longer be ruled by foreigners. On June 19, 1867, Maximilian faced a firing squad. He dressed in full imperial uniform and stood proudly, refusing a blindfold. His final words were said to be, "Viva Mexico, viva la independencia." With that, the last emperor of Mexico fell, ending the Second Mexican Empire forever. Maximilian's reign lasted just 3 years, but his story remains one of the most dramatic tales of ambition, betrayal, and tragedy in world history. To some, he was a misguided dreamer. To others, a foreign occupier. But one thing is certain: his death marked the end of monarchy in Mexico, and the triumph of republican ideals. And so, the curtain closed on Mexico's last emperor, Maximilian I. His story is a reminder of how ambition, politics, and betrayal can shape the fate of nations.